What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
Okay, for like the 8th time this morning, I'm saying I believe this is my final Sisters video before we get to the finale tomorrow night. So here we are talking about, well, a fan favorite of the season, or should I say more specifically, if I were to do a quick ranking, I'd say Fatima is the #1 character, and I'm talking amongst fans, you know. Fatima's #1, Danni is #2, and Zach is #3. I think Zach kind of went down a couple, spots after the whole thing with Karen. But regardless, this video is about my theory that Preston will dump Danni in the season finale. It's kind of ironic when you think about it because of the fact that it seems like Sabrina and Calvin aren't getting back together anytime soon, nor do I want them together in the first place because the way Sabrina's been treating the poor guy, it's like been ridiculous. I've already done a video about, Sabrina and Jacoby. I recorded that minutes before this one. We know that Aaron is quote unquote giving Karen space for the time being. Danni, I just feel like yet again she's going to let her stubbornness ruin a good thing with Preston. I mean, in the previews, it's like I'm just trying to help you, but you're not letting me. It's like I don't want anybody to fix me. So it's like I feel like that's a bad. Well, no, I don't want to say that's a bad trait in a relationship, but I do feel like it's not healthy when you aren't allowing yourself to be vulnerable if your partner is. Not to mention, how are you really going to grow together if one or both of you aren't open to either change or compromise? It just feels like what Danni says is law and Preston just needs to get with the program. And if he can't get with that program, then there's no need of us even interacting. I feel like that's it. It's Danny's way or the highway. And then as soon as he takes the highway, then it's like, how come you didn't come back? How come you didn't call me? I feel like Danni is just causing her own issues in this. The whole racist family members, oh yeah, that's something completely out of her control. But I feel like the issues on her part are coming from a place of ridiculousness. It just feels like there's so many issues that Danni causes with her own emotions in mind that Preston can't do anything about because she refuses to admit to feeling anything. She covers it up under the guise of sarcasm or just wanting to have sex. So I think that Preston is probably just going to feel like, look, I care about you a lot, but I can't do this anymore. It's like we just go through the same thing over and over again. Kind of like Maurice in a way where he points out the annoying storyline or the dance that Calvin and Sabrina do where one of them wants to talk with the other, but they don't. So they decide to go out with another person. And then when they see somebody out with the other person, whether it be Sabrina seeing Calvin at the restaurant with a girl or Calvin going to the bank and seeing her with Jacoby, then they want to get pissed off about it. Ain't nobody got time for this crap. You're adults. Just talk about it. So with it being the season finale and nobody really having a happy ending, it seems, because, well, drama has to ensue before we get to the next season, I think Preston decides to leave. That's what I think, because of the fact that there's just no budging Danni. And I think that what happens from there is that Zach's going to come back because Fatima's going to kick him out. Even if he decides to go talk with Karen, she ain't going to have it. Not to mention the fact that after what happens in the grocery store scene at the beginning of the episode, I doubt Karen is going to be willing to let him move back in like she told the girls at the ending of the last episode. So I feel like Zach's just going to get his stuff and go back to Danny's place, and then they're both going to sit there dejected because these two are fan favorites of the season. They had good individuals, Preston and Fatima, who brought out another side of them, showing them another side to a relationship after previous experiences, and they both deffed up. Danni for being in her own head, and Zach for sleeping with Karen. Having sex with Karen. So in my mind, I feel like that's what we're going to do. We're really just going to go back to the basis. And I feel like depending on how the finale winds up, I feel like that's the entirety of the season, back to basics. It's almost like, we go back to square one, despite it seem like some of these characters actually moved forward a few steps, but we're just going back to where we started from. So those are my prediction. Well, actually, I did a prediction video anyway, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think Preston is going to pull an Aaron and just step away. It's like Karen, you know, from Aaron, because Karen obviously still loves Zach, and then Preston is like, we're not going anywhere because you just refuse to acknowledge when you need help, not therapy or whatever, but you just refuse to acknowledge, what damages you and how we can move forward together. But since you're not able to do that, there's no point in me sticking around. So with that being said, thanks so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate it. So like and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier. And if you wouldn't mind, if you would like to, that is, feel free to donate to the channel on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.